Don't pull your love out on me, baby. If you do, then I think that maybe I'll just lay me down and cry for 100 years. Don't pull your love out on me, honey. Take my heart, my soul, my money, but don't leave me drowning in my tears. You say you're gonna leave, gonna take that big white bird, gonna fly right out of here without a single word. Don't you know that you'll break my heart when I watch you close that door, knowing I won't see you anymore? Hey, what's going on? Thanks for enduring that. Welcome to the hardest part of the ring. We're talking about the Hulu edition. The Hulu edition. So if I miss a match, you know why. It's the Hulu edition. 90-minute, action packed sort of version of WWE Raw for December 14th. 2020. This was the go home show for the TLC pay per view. And if there were a regular live audience, it would have been the stay home show. Good God, don't go to it. I don't think Raw should be on TV anymore. There should be like a rule. Like your show has to be something. We're living in a Vince McMahon fever dream, and it's just holy crap! Wow, this just hurt everybody. Um, what happened? Well, let's talk about it. Okay. We opened the show with Hulk Hogan slamming Andre the Giant. That's pretty good. People like to see that. It makes everyone feel happy. Gives you the warm and fuzzies inside, you know. Then we have a package. Of course, we have a package. We cannot open the goddamn show without a big, hairy, sweaty package slapping you in the face, twig and berries and all. The package is about Sheamus maybe not turning on Drew, kicking him by mistake. No mention of AJ Styles, who is the guy Drew is wrestling this Sunday on a pay per view that isn't a pay per view. Does that make any sense? It shouldn't. We go straight from the sweaty package in our face to the old dirt sheet introduction from Miz and Morrison. We got to hear Howard Finkel's voice. That was nice, and geez, I hope that's not the last time we hear Howard Finkel's voice. I'd hate for that to be the end of the legacy, but I'm sure they'll use it from time to time. Miz and Morrison have become like the same guy. It's like like comedians who just want to call someone a racist name with no real joke that they wrote will always go Carlin and Pryor. Well, Carlin and Pryor did this, Carlin and Pryor did that. Carlin and Pryor were not the same guy. They're two complete, but they merge them into like one being, which is ludicrous. This has happened with Miz and Morrison because they're not aiming for any tag team titles. They're just two guys who are just together. I don't understand. That are just helping. One guy, Morrison, is just helping Miz cheat and win forever. For why? I don't know what they're doing. Anyway, they do this long, goddamn segment, and I think they think Miz is a good talker because he's really good at remembering and enthusiastically saying whatever they tell him to say. So they think he's a good talker, and I get it. Like he's good at that. Um, but he's as sterile comes lately. I think his best work seems to be behind him. Everybody seems to be kind of phoning in this show. I think AJ Styles gave up completely. Um, so what happens? AJ is here, and then Miz has a book with Mick Foley on the cover that says the night before TLC. So before the Learning Channel gets underway, Sheamus runs out. Oh, Morrison does a Braveheart Drew McIntyre impersonation, which is kind of racist actually, but also Braveheart. It's 20 fucking years ago. That's the most recent thing we can do. They were doing, they were parodying Braveheart in '05 for the WrestleMania with the movie skits, and it was kind of past its joke prime then. 15 years later, we're making the same fucking jokes. Are we gonna stand in the corner and wait for the Blair Witch? Or the Dudley's Wazab beer thing, which they took from the beer commercial in '99, 2000, whatever it was, they kind of made it theirs, and you can kind of wink, wink, and let it go if they don't do it all the time. Uh, it's like when Golga in '98, John Tenta, the Earthquake, had the Eric Cartman the stuffed doll, because South Park was new and big and huge and everything else, so he had Cartman. I call him Cartman. Let it go, Braveheart. Who wrote this? Who thought this was funny? This is the most recent thing they can think of. It sucks. Fuck you. Okay, that's my mood today, guys. The job search is not going well. That's the problem here, folks. Okay, another time. Stay with me. Money in the Bank. So Miz ends his poem Christmas thing that's long with something about maybe he'll cash in Money in the Bank, and I don't think he will, for the record, for what it's worth. And then Sheamus runs out. Why would Sheamus have a microphone here, other than we need to fill time? He's tired. He's supposed to be tired of their bad impressions, as we all are. And he should be going in there, knowing he's about to wrestle AJ Styles. He should be going in there, just kicking everybody's ass, because he wants to end this. So what does he do? He wants to come in and end. They do this to every babyface. He wants to come in and end the stupid talking by talking more. Sheamus does that. AJ tries to throw a Christmas tree at Sheamus. Sheamus retaliates by throwing an empty cardboard box near AJ's head, which AJ takes a bump off of. AJ gave up. He doesn't care. AJ and Sheamus have a match. This match is like a delicious fruit smoothie after you shove your balls in my mouth. Too late. I'm already not hungry. Okay? It's a fine match. They got Sheamus. They're still planting more seeds, how he was more aggressive. He was doing the knees to the face, not just the knee drops, but the rubbing the knee against the face. And he had an attitude. He was looking at the almost guy. He was doing the 10 beats, and while he was looking at the almost guy, and the almost guy almost did something, but then he didn't. LOL, waka waka. Yeah. But after the balls in the mouth, I don't want your fruit smoothie. If anyone was in his live audience, they would completely hate this match and most of the rest of the show based on whatever that abomination was at the beginning. So no one's going to get into this. And I didn't. AJ wins the thing. How did he win it? He did like some kind of kick. He took Sheamus's leg out, and Sheamus fell off the second rope, and I think AJ got like a roll up pin from there, which is fine. I don't. Not, everyone can't win with their finisher all the time, because if you do that, fans know when not to care about your false finish. They're not going to pop on 2 and 2 3/4 and 2 7/8 when they know that wasn't the finish. Once in a while, a guy should win with a setup move. Sheamus should win with the white noise or the Irish curse or something here and there. Just because. Just change it up. Change it up. If Hulk Hogan came out and gave someone a big boot and pinned him, would you be mad? It's probably a bad example. Yeah. So that was that. The match gets 15 stars, just for the record. 15 stars. Then there's like an attack on Sheamus. Oh, yeah, and AJ hits him in the dick with a chair a couple of times. But where's Drew? Drew doesn't come out, and we're planting all these seeds for Sheamus to be mad at this later. The problem is when Sheamus does make this promo complaining, Sheamus is going to be right, and our big lovable babyface and hero Drew McIntyre will actually be the asshole in this story. Why don't they get this? I'm not turning Drew, for fuck's sake. I mean, Jesus. Also, for AJ to take out the sidekick right before he wrestles Drew, that's exactly the same plot as No Holds Barred. Tiny Lister, who passed away, played Zeus, passed away last week. Why are people, maybe that's why they did this in memorial of Zeus. They did the exact thing. Zeus beat up Randy, and then Zeus had to wrestle Rip, played by the Hulkster. Also, why are people tweeting R.I.P. Zeus when R.I.P. is the name of the guy who kills Zeus in the movie? Doesn't make any fucking sense. No Rip. Don't write Rip, Zeus. Rip is what got him. It's the same thing as Earthquake taking out Tugboat before SummerSlam 90 on his way to face Hogan. It's the same thing as Yokozuna taking out Hacksaw before he wrestles Brett at Mania 9. It's the same thing. And that's fine. Yeah, hit him in the dick with the chair. Don't hit him in the dick, fella. Oh, this is taking too long. The New Day and Jeff Hardy dance around with Matt Riddle in their corner and they wrestle the Hurt Business. Nothing to write home about here, and why would I? My mom doesn't even watch wrestling. Bobby Lashley gets the full Nelson on Jeff, 41 stars. So we're setting up a tag team title match and this Riddle MVP feud, which is getting a little more amusing than I thought it was going to get. So I'll go with it, and we'll talk about that later, of course. Then there's a replay, of course there is, of Nia and Shayna. For the third time, we have to watch the front back boobs thing. It wasn't that funny, but you know how it is. Lana gets fired up. Lana gets fired up by Asuka, and then there's hugs, which is nice. I like hugs. Everybody's friends. I like that. Lana goes over. The match gets 9 stars. So the only way for Lana to get redemption. I've been saying this for a month or so now, through all the 88 tables they put her through. Lana's got to beat Nia decisively, 1, 2, 3, clean in the middle. They give Lana the fluke win. She hits like 2 moves, so it's like a 2-minute match. And then after the fluke win, they beat the living shit out of her and make her unable to compete at the following championship match at the pay-per-view. Everything they've done to make Lana actually less likable to the audience. And if there had been a live crowd this year, we wouldn't have got this far because it would have been booed out of the place. The whole thing would have been booed out of the place, and they would have called an audible. One of the things that hurt this whole god damn show this year, is that there's no live crowd to force Vince's hand and say, no, really, it sucks. And there wasn't here. So Lana gets the fluke win. We knew Lana was going to win the thing because they showed her beating Sheamus. The question was how. I figured some kind of missed thing from Shayna, or Asuka just interferes because there's a bunch of interference already from some, and then Lana drapes the arm over and gets the Duke. But no, they gave her the fluke win. Okay, so she beat her clean, technically. Lana did not cheat to beat her, but they made it fluke-like. Like, okay, Nia slips on a banana peel, and Lana gets the 1, 2, 3 after getting her ass kicked. Then they beat the shit out of her. Because Vince likes blondes, and Nia's, what's his face, is The Rock's cousins. The Rock's cousin. I stumbled over that word, yeah. So we have to make everybody happy, make everybody look good. And it was the shits. Goodbye. 9 stars. Everybody beats up everybody. Shayna attacks Asuka in the back. Nia's beating up Lana after the fluke win. Asuka has so much fire as a babyface. I think, did Asuka run out? Or maybe it was later on. I think Asuka ran out to break up the shenanigans. Keith Lee shows up and tosses a coin to see who will wrestle him in a handicap match, which is both, so it doesn't make any sense. They have the handicap match. Miz and Morrison, again, Miz Morrison, the same guy. They win with a double pin. I still don't believe that the two of them lying on Keith Lee can keep his shoulders down for 3, especially after just a few minutes of back and forth. 94 stars this match gets. Then we have another package in your face, dangling on your shoulders you're trying to read. Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt does a field trip. We have another long, goofy, talky segment. Jeez, I used to like Bray. I still like The Fiend. But the puppets are at ringside. The announcers are freaked out by the puppets. The announcers don't ask whose hand is up the butts of the puppets. And Bray Wyatt does the thing. It's just filling time. But Orton interrupts. And then that challenges him to a game of hide and seek, and Red Bray has to go find him. Cute little moment in the back, and I forgive this 30 seconds of stupidity, because it's 30 seconds and not like 8 minutes up top or whatever it was of stupidity. Riddle runs into Bray, and those two, you would never think they're ever going to have them interact in one way or another. And Riddle has a little thing, he calls him Bro, and Bro says, no, it's Bray. And then Riddle tries to give Bray a bro nut, and it's just, and he calls one of the puppets Baby Bray. Like, Riddle's really leaning into this thing. I thought it was going to be the death of him. He's leaning all the way into this shit, so good for him. And yes, it's dumb, but again, it's 30 seconds dumb. It's not 8 minutes up top dumb. So Bray carries on. He's still looking for Orton. Then we have the match that rhymes. It's Dana Brooke and Shayna Baszler. We have Dana and Shayna going at it. This ends in a disqualification where Nia runs in. I think Nia just shoves Dana off the buckle, I think. And then one of the announcers, the generic guy, I think it was Byron actually, says, after the DQ, says, do rules matter anymore? Actually, yeah, because Shayna just got DQ'd because interference happened in front of the referee. There's 900 other times on every other show where you should say, do rules matter anymore? And you'd be correct. The one time you're incorrect because rules are mattering, you ask if the rules matter. You are wrong, Byron Saxton, who told you to say that. The match gets 61 stars. Asuka runs in here, no Lana. So I guess she's out of the thing. She'll limp out and do something crazy and interfere. I don't know. And maybe it'll be like a handicap thing, and then Lana will run in and win the tag titles for them or something. I don't know. Asuka's got so much fire as a babyface. If Asuka didn't wrestle in Japan, which would be kind of ludicrous considering she's from there, but if Asuka had just started like in the NXT, like the PC Center or whatever it is, and did everything exactly the same, I'd still say, yeah, that's something. She's got so much babyface fire coming out there. Really good. I believe her when she gets angry or excited, even when she hugs Lana. It's like I believe whatever Asuka does. R-Truth is being R-Truth backstage. He's looking for a PS6. And then he says to the Huskus the pig, you look like you spent some time in the pen, which is hilarious. And again, this is 30 seconds of stupidity. So I think Bray, does Bray talk the truth? Or, I don't know. Bray finds the rocking chair. Oh, this is many more minutes of stupidity. See, this is why I don't forgive. I forgive the R-Truth pig pen joke. I forgive Riddler and the Bray Bronut thing. Those are little bits of stupid, and you can kind of go, all right, let's have a moment of levity. Not several long segments of levity in the show. Bray sees the old rocking chair from way back when in yesteryear, and he sees a rocking chair in an empty room, and he sits down and turns around. Randy Orton attacks him, of course. Poor stuffs Bray Wyatt in a big box or like a wooden casket, I'm not sure what it was. Lights it on fire after pouring gasoline on it, which you should not be doing this stunt indoors ever. But they do. And of course, somehow the Fiend pops out of the burning box. I need some water, hang on. Oh boy. I guess so did the Fiend. LOL. Laughing in Spanish. The Fiend pops out of the burning thing, and I think he gives Orton the claw. And the announcers are only slightly freaked out that Bray Wyatt, who's wearing a sweater that looks flammable, was thrown into a burning box or something. But life goes on. Matt Riddle wrestles MVP, beats him in about a minute with the floating bro, splashy sentani, twisty, yabba and Bobby runs out, and Riddle walks off, and he has a donut. Riddle does not look like he's eaten a donut in the last several years. Then there's an ascension ceremony. If we did the contract signing, we'd complain that we get too many goddamn contract signings. We'd be right to complain. We did the ascension ceremony. Okay. I'll bite because we know it's the same arena. So, all right. Which would be hilarious if it wasn't the same arena and they just. But AJ and Drew come out and there's a lot of talking for a long time. AJ and Drew were trying to pretend that AJ and Drew were having the feud and not Sheamus and Drew. Drew comes out with the sword to summon the rest of the Thundercats. There's a lot of attacking. Miz and Morrison, the same guy. Miz Morrison, that guy runs out. Morrison gets a claymore holding a ladder, and I think Miz took one of the easier bumps because Miz never gets hit or never gets hurt, and that's why people are sick of him as a heel. There's no real comeuppance because he doesn't like getting hit. The almost guy pulls AJ. I think what was happening? Almost did something. I forget what he did. Oh, he kept handing AJ stuff like chairs and ladders and things. So eventually they leave Drew McIntyre laying. None of the Thundercats help them. And AJ, of course, does the thing where you gotta climb the ladder and pose with the title on the go home show before the ladder thing. So this way we know that you're not going to win it because we've already seen you hold the thing. I have a question. This entire segment was the Ascension ceremony. We raise up the belt. It hangs in the ceiling and we stare at it. And then we fade to black and we wait 6 days for this goddamn pay-per-view. After ascending it, and yes, the Ascension got its own entrance music, hilarious. AJ took the thing off the hook, and he held up the belt. So does that mean we need another ceremony? He just defeated the entire purpose of the Ascension ceremony. So at some point it has to be risen again, right? I guess you don't want Drew entering the TLC match without the title around his waist. But if they just put it back up there and Drew does enter the match without the thing around his waist, then it's extra stupid, actually. So I don't know. I think we've just negated the Ascension ceremony. I didn't even know there's a thing you can do, but you can. Uh, I don't know about the matches that didn't air. I didn't see any extra wacky dives before we go to break. I didn't see the goddamn pinfall roll-up attempt out of the hip toss. I didn't see anyone go for a schoolboy but roll out of it and dodge a sidekick. I didn't see anyone go over the top rope, hold on to the rope so they don't go to the floor, and then get hit with a move right outside the ropes but on the ring apron, which a lot of you guys don't know. It's the hardest part of the ring. There's so much I wanna do. I've got love enough for two, but I'll never use a girl if I don't have you.